People see what's going on now with the system, with healthcare, with the food system, with political system, um, financial system. They see what's going on. I talk to people all the time, and I'm hearing the same things over and over again. And I'd love to know what you're seeing, like what your experience is out there with the great awakening that is happening in our world. If you haven't downloaded the Great Awakening Guide, it's totally free. It's all the best resources all in one place. Live links to documentaries, books, movies, articles, etc., including my contribution to the cause, which is like either 31 or 41 ways, I can't remember right off the top of my head at the moment, ways to be a part of the solution and escape the system, escape the NWO, you know what it stands for, Totalitarian One World Government. That's available at greatawakeningguide.com, and you can pick it up for free. You can view it on the website if you're looking on your computer, and you can also download the PDF. Again, that's my contribution to the cause, because I would get a lot of comments from people saying, hey, we know there's a problem, but we want a solution. What's the solution? Well, that's the solution. Things like, becoming more self-reliant, building local communities that kind of economies of scale, right? Where you maybe don't, do everything that a homesteader would do. You don't raise chickens and gardens and, acquire tools and resources and all the equipment, but you share those with your local friends and neighbors in an effort to maintain yourselves in the event of a total collapse of the system. It's happened before. It could happen again. Some of the other ones are, taking care of your health, right? Being proactive with your health, knowing yourself, trusting yourself. All of those things are in that guide. But my point is this: I talk to people all the time, and there is an awakening happening. People are seeing that the healthcare system isn't serving us in the best possible way. They don't want to take medications anymore. They don't want to go to their doctor and all their doctors say is, okay, here's a bunch of drugs, go take these and, good luck. Because those drugs have side effects. And sometimes the side effects are worse than the actual dis-ease that the drug was prescribed for. It's wild. It's bonkers. Sunil Dand, who I've talked about on my channel before, he is an Indian doctor from Britain practicing in America. He's fantastic. His channel's blowing up because he's speaking truth. That's what's happening right now. There is a truth movement going on, an awakening happened. People are getting real, they're getting authentic, and they're talking openly and honestly about their frustration with the system. Like I said, all the systems. But he predicts that there's going to be a time very soon when people will basically tell their doctors, look, you either get with the health and wellness program and you either serve us in a holistic, natural, appropriate way and stop pushing big pharma's medications, or we're done with you. It's already happening. People are moving away from doctors that are part of the system, that are bought and paid for by pharma, that are pushing these pharmaceutical products. I'm not saying that sometimes people don't need them, but if your doctor ever puts you on a prescription drug without giving you an alternative, an option to change your diet and your lifestyle, that's sketch. It's a red flag, a huge red flag. I'm not saying everyone will do that or can do that, but I'm saying if your doctor doesn't give you the option, it's a red flag. The reason that doctors don't give people the option is because they weren't trained that way, right? Pharma runs medical schools. We know it happens. Corporations put big money into toothpaste manufacturers and soap manufacturers and, all of it. It's all BS. It's all a system that is corrupted by money. Money runs this world. Ken O'Keefe said finance is the head of the snake in the world, and it doesn't just stay in the financial arena. It transfers to education. It transfers to healthcare. It transfers to parenting. It transfers to every single system in our world. Money influences that system, and it doesn't always influence it, or one could even say it never influences it in the best interest of the people receiving the product of that system. The education from your kids, the health and wellness of you and your family, right? The banking system, of course, it funds all the BS and the money funnels to the top, right? The biggest problem facing humanity and Americans is the consolidation of wealth, power, and control in the hands of a very few, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. COVID transferred billions of dollars from the middle and lower class to the upper class. And you tell me that was an accident. I dare you to tell me that was an accident. It's all by design. After I watched the documentary, Everything is a Rich Man's Trick, I see it everywhere, and you will see it everywhere as well. That's one of the documentaries in the Great Awakening Guide, or you could just go to YouTube and watch it. In the Great Awakening Guide, I have pulled 3 documentaries that I call a quick start guide, because I know a lot of Americans aren't going to watch. All Americans don't want to watch all this stuff. I find it endlessly fascinating. I don't need Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime. I'm watching the most, let me try to put this in the proper words. It's the most interesting, compelling, engaging, fascinating, wild documentary play out in real life on the world stage. It's a horror show because there are some horrific things going on. It is an espionage spy thriller. It's a murder mystery, right? It's sci-fi. It's a comedy. It's a thriller. It's all those things. Best movie you will ever watch in your life playing out on the screen in front of us. And the 3 documentaries that I recommend are All Wars Are Bankers' Wars. It's an hour long. It's fantastic. It basically says, all of these things that happen in the world enrich the very few, and they're manufactured to happen that way. And you could also extrapolate that to be all, financial collapses could be called bankers' collapses. All pandemics could be called bankers' pandemics. All of it is. That's the rich man's trick. So All Wars Are Bankers' Wars on YouTube. Everything is a Rich Man's Trick on YouTube. That's 3 hours. Well worth it. Last and final one, and this is in there just because it needs to be, because it's pivotal. There are many documentaries about Israel, but it's called The Mystery of Israel. It's at stopworldcontrol.com/Israel. You could also watch the Tantura documentary. You could watch The Occupation of the American Mind. You could watch Ted Pike's The Other Israel. There's a lot of stuff going down, but those 3-ish will bring you up to speed very quickly. Again, you won't need Netflix. You'll just be able to cancel all that subscription. But what I'm seeing out there, and this is what I'd love to know from you as well, are you seeing the awakening happening? Are you awakening? Right? Let me know your experience. My experience is this, in a nutshell. Prior to COVID times, I just thought the government was incompetent. Mainly speaking about federal government, but let's be real, it goes down to state and local too, because the tentacles run deep. Even though there are good people working definitely in local and state, I don't know if there's many good people working at the federal level. I mean, in Washington. Are there people working in the federal level at the state, in the states, in branches? Of course, I know people, good people that are working for the federal government that aren't part of the BS, but they're still part of the system. Where was I? So it goes back to the governments. Well, I lost my train of thought for a moment there, but let me see if I can pick it up here. So we were talking about the documentaries, the federal government, and the tentacles run deep is what I'm saying, right? And people are waking up to the BS because all people are sensing that the system has failed us. And I know where I was at. I was talking about prior to COVID times, I thought the federal government was incompetent. I'm like, why can't you guys solve our national debt? Why is it 37 plus trillion and growing? Why are you putting inflation on the American people, which is an invisible tax that they have to now pay when they already have difficult times paying for the products and services they and their family need to survive and or thrive? Why is that happening? Well, that's happening because of the Federal Reserve, which is a private central banking system, has nothing to do with the federal government. It was outsourced in 1913 when Congress sold us out and were deceived. That's an invisible tax they do because they print money out of thin air, right? That's not helping the American people. So I saw all this incompetence. What's with the forever wars? Why 20 years in Afghanistan and you leave all the equipment there, billions of dollars of equipment? Seems like a pretty stupid thing to do. Again, I put it in the incompetent category prior to COVID. Why'd you spend all the money? Why lose all the soldiers? Why create all the PTSD? Why come back with broken men that have to now integrate with the society? Like, what the F, bro? Made me super angry because I'm like, you guys are freaking morons. Either you are stupid or you're super sinister. And that's what happened after COVID. I realized they're not incompetent at all. They're very competent and very EVIL, super EVIL, all of them back there. And I shared a video prior, maybe about 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I thought it was fantastic. The guy said that the reason they play incompetent is because you're not going to get pissed at an incompetent person. You're just going to be like, oh man, these incompetent people can't, solve the problem. Senators, congressmen, presidents, they're creating problems. An example of that is Bill Clinton destroyed the Haitian rice market and probably other markets because that's a big market in Haiti. And he even admitted he made a mistake. He said, it's my fault, right? Amy Goodman on Democracy Now!, she exposed the whole thing. Many people exposed it. Destroyed the freaking market because they were trying to alleviate the Haitians from having to grow rice so they could bring in industrial. It's just bullshit. That was the cover story. The backstory is they wanted to make a lot of money. It's the fleecing of Haiti. It's always the fleecing of people. Bill Clinton destroyed that, said, I'm sorry, oops. They didn't give any of the money back. That permanently and or probably for many decades will keep the destruction going. Obama said Libya was the worst mistake of his presidency. And that again was on purpose, right? To destroy Libya, bring him under, the Rothschild central banking cartel and under the thumb of Americans because Gaddafi was not playing American and he was going to sell his oil for gold. It's bullshit. Saddam Hussein was another thing, right? George Bush lied to the American people and the American government lied to the American people, said they had WMDs. There were no WMDs. There was a bunch of gold though. He was also going to sell his oil for gold. It's total bullshit. These guys are con artists of the highest freaking order. It's wild to watch it play out. Americans are waking up. I no longer call myself a conservative or whatever. I'm just a human being. I'm a person looking at the bullshit done in our country in the name of freedom and democracy. And we've raped and robbed and pillaged all these countries all around the world. And both parties are complicit. And I'm even complicit for being ignorant about it. Ignorance of crimes against humanity doesn't get me off the hook for being a part of the problem because I was ignorant about it, right? I didn't know what my government was doing. There's some super sketchy people. And now my mission is to, hey, invite Americans. How they treat one person is how they treat all people. You don't want to get caught up in some bullshit. I highly recommend you look into the crimes against humanity your government has been doing all over this world for a lot of years, 100 years, if not more. But people are seeing it. They're seeing it. So let me know what your experience is. That's what I want to share with you. This video went on a little longer than I wanted it to, but it's important to talk about these issues. Thank you for watching. Now let's talk about the biggest solution before I wrap this video up. The biggest solution that you can do right now is to know yourself and know your purpose and your mission in your life and get on that shit ASAP. To that point, I want to invite you to check out One Life. One Life is a system for winning the game of life, playing your strengths, using the gifts and talents that God gave you to do work in the world that God needs to be done. Are you a builder? Are you a designer? Are you a chef? Do you make food that heals the mind, body, and soul? Are you a clothing manufacturer? Are you going to make high vibe clothes that are built from natural fibers that allow the body to breathe, that don't put plastic and synthetic ingredients on the body that hinders our ability to thrive? Are you a writer? Can you write and awaken people with words? Are you a speaker? Can you speak and awaken people with your words, right? Are you whatever? The list goes on and on. We need people that are tuned into their gifts and talents right now in the world, doing the things that God needs to have done to push back against the beast system that is playing out in our world. That time is done. It's time for Americans to wake up, get super aware and super conscious of what's going on in the world and who we are and why we're here and do the thing. You can learn more at thisismyonelife.com. It's an all-in-one, done-for-you system where you plug in your gifts and talents and your mission and you go to town. Now, if you want the heart and soul of One Life, which is how to find your mission in life, you can get that free when you subscribe to my weekly video email newsletter where I share tips and tricks and ideas and insights about the things that are beneficial to you on your journey, that's at gmarkphillips.com/subscribe. It's all about playing the game of life. There you go. I appreciate you very much for watching this video. Share it with someone who you think needs to hear this message. Leave me a comment down below. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you sensing in the world? This is the way we help each other as we communicate, like the mushroom mycelia, right? They're communicating with the fibers, and the information is sending out because we are like mushrooms in an interconnected way. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. I'll talk to you in the next video. Have an awesome day.